In this short lecture, I'd like to introduce you to the elements and principles of design, give you a sense of how they differ from each other and how they're used. In courses like drawing or painting, these elements and principles will serve as crucial terminology for discussing student artwork, and they'll also serve as a guide for students as they decide how to compose interesting pieces. In a 2D design course, each element and principle will also be explored individually. Basic elements. These are the building blocks that make up two-dimensional designs. And here's a list of the basic elements. Point, line, shape, texture, value, and color are all basic elements. Let's take a look at the principles of design. The principles of design are basic organizational strategies. The principles of design can be used to explain how the elements are arranged within a piece of artwork. And here's a list of the principles of design. Unity, variety, balance, proportion and scale, harmony, repetition, rhythm, and pattern, or rhythm, repetition, and pattern can be sort of lumped under the category of harmony. We also have emphasis and movement. And here is the two lists side by side, so you can see how they differ. It should be noted that often, depending on the book to which you're referring, these lists will grow and shrink slightly, but the terms listed here are useful and relevant to our course. So, here's a couple examples. This is an Edward Hopper painting, and I use both the principles of design and the elements of design to describe what's going on here. The cluster of small shapes, that is faces, on the right, is balanced by the weight of the large blue shape on the left. So I'm talking about elements, the elements of shape and color, and I'm talking about how they're arranged on the page in order to balance each other out. Balance is, again, the principle. So we're talking about how the principle organizes the elements. Let's move on to another Edward Hopper painting. This one is called Nighthawks, and it's very famous. The shape of the storefront and the arc of the server's back create movement. So again, we're talking about shapes here. The arc of both the front of the building and the server's back create movement, and movement in this case is the principle of design. Movement is how the shapes are being used. And then our last example is a Toulouse-Lautrec painting. The complementary colors in the face create emphasis, and you see that I have circled that there. The complementary colors in the face create emphasis. So colors, in this case, is the element, and emphasis is the principle. So the colors are in service of emphasis. The element is in service of the principle. And then lastly, I will show you the list again so that you can start to familiarize yourself with these terms. And we'll revisit each of them both in the context of using them to create work and in the context of using them to discuss the work of others.